So this is the sales funnel that we're using to close about 5 or 6 new training clients every single week for personal training, semi-private, or large group training. We've been doing it this way for many, many years, and it's working great right now. We've got guys like Luca getting results with this for his kettlebell studio, guys like Eric for his semi-private studio, guys like Alan, Liz, Ben, many other trainers in all parts of the world. We're using this right now to get about 5 or 6 clients a week and make somewhere between a 3 to 5x return on ad spend every week. So I'll walk you through this in the next couple of minutes so you can see for yourself how it works. So it all starts with the Facebook ad. Okay, so we're going to run our Facebook ad. It's going to be a lead form. So the person is going to submit their info after they see the advert for our front end offer. Okay, we're typically going to offer something like a 6-week program or a 4-week program to begin with. Then what happens is when they opt in, the end of the form is going to have a link that will redirect them to our booking calendar. So they're going to book then for an appointment with us in person. Now, what you'll find here is that only about 10% of the people who automatically land on this form are actually going to book themselves in. So the vast majority of the bookings need to come from a manual approach. So you'll be calling up to do manual appointment setting. So you need the right script, you need the right system to do that. If you're not doing a manual follow-up, you're leaving so much money on the table. So don't try and automate all this, because your prospects need to speak to someone on the phone, because it builds trust and credibility. So having said all that though, overall with our follow-up system, with our booking scripts, we will get roughly 40 to 60% of the leads booked in our calendar. So you need to be aiming for roughly a 40 to 50% booking rate on average. Okay. Now, if they do book automatically on the calendar through the advert, then we will still call up those people to confirm the appointment and again, build a bit more trust in real life. It's really important for your show-up rates that they speak to a real person, either to get them booked in or just after the booking. After that, then, we've now got the booking. The next important thing we have to do is get them to show up. So we have a reminder sequence in place. This is a system we use where we send them SMS, emails, we send them different content, social proof. We have a whole system set up for this that automates the whole thing. And with this reminder sequence, we will typically get somewhere about a 60 to 80% show up rate. So again, I recommend you look for a minimum 50%. If you're not getting 50% of the bookings turning up, there's a problem with your reminder or nurture sequence. And then the prospect comes to the appointment, they come to the sales consultation, and we're going to offer them something again like a 4 to 6 week program. These leads are very qualified because they've taken the time and effort to come and see you in person. So they're pretty serious about doing something. I recommend that if you do large group or small group training, then you're selling in person. There's no need to sell anything lower than $400 or $500 up front. So we find, again, from doing this in dozens of studios and helping gym owners all around the world do the same thing, we typically see somewhere between a 60 to 70% close rate. And that's with a front end offer of at least $500. Okay, so you should be closing at least half the people, make about $500 on the front end. So the next thing to look at now with this funnel is you have to see, how do we get the right KPIs, right? How do you make sure that it's going to make profit on your ad spend so that you make all your ad spend back and you can scale this up? So let's run a simulation and I'll go through the KPIs that we tend to see. So number one, when it comes to the adverts, okay, A lot of gym owners are struggling with adverts right now because costs have gone up and costs of ads keep going up year on year as there's more saturation, more competition, more gym owners in your area running ads. So the price goes up for everyone. The beauty of our high ticket system here is that this allows you to absorb high lead costs and we still make tons of profit. So let's say, for example, that your lead costs are very high, like $25 a lead. That would be pretty high. But let's say that's what you pay. So let's say, for example, that you spend in 1 month $1,000. Okay, your budget is $1,000 you put into Facebook ads. Now, if you are going to pay $25 a lead, that means you would get 40 leads at $25 each. That's your $1,000 budget. So you get 40 leads. Now, our booking system will book 50% of those leads in. So that would give you 20 appointments on the calendar this month. Then, if you run the reminder sequence, you can expect 50% of them to show up. So that would be 10 appointments show up. So again, 40 leads at $25 each, 20 book in, 10 show up to the appointment. And then again, we close at like 70%, but let's be conservative and say you only close 50%. That would mean you would get 5 new sales. Now, if you're charging $500, that means 5 times $500, you made $2,500 in sales revenue and you put $1,000 in. So that is you've doubled the return on your ad spend. You put $1,000 in, you've made $2,500 back, meaning this conservatively, even with a low closing rate and a very high lead cost, you still make money. And that's what we do in these funnels. And that's just the entry point, really. So the system does continue from here. So what will happen is, in the first 6-week program, we're going to have upsells, we're going to have cross-sells, we're going to have referrals generated from the client, and then we're going to have an ascension system that's going to convert the majority of the 6-week challenges into a 6 to 12 month long-term program. And that's where the real lifetime value comes in. And when we stack the whole system, we then end up making somewhere like a 10 to 20x return on investment. So for every $1,000 we put in over the long term from those 5 new sales, we can end up making $10,000, $20,000 or more. So it's an extremely profitable system, and that's what's allowed us to scale this so we can open multiple studios and grow our studios consistently and profitably. So that's the breakdown. If you want to find out more about this, I do have a workshop recording where I went for about 1 hour, breaking down the offer, breaking down the funnel, breaking down the sales process. I recorded that workshop for some clients in the past, but you can get the recording for $5. I think the link should be somewhere around this video. If you can't see it, just reach out to me and I'll get you that recording if you want to see this in a lot more depth.